Hello, great people. In a moment, I'll leave you to watch this shocking video of how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government was embarrassed during the NBA conference. It happened that Seun Kimbaloye of Channels TV posted a question to the gathering of lawyers as regards the performance of the Tinubu government, and the Tinubu government received an outright rejection in the presence of the Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. In a moment, I'll leave you to watch the video and take note of the happenings in that particular video, because when we come back, we'll be looking at the implication of that video for the Tinubu government, and also what happened in that video, the outright rejection. How will this shape the 2027 presidential election? We would also be reviewing the questions that were asked in that particular video. What is the reality of the answers that were given by the lawyers? Are the lawyers correct in their answers? We'll try to break it down and dissect all the associated issues and more on this episode of Politics with your short blog, Dr. Omoshola. First, let us go and watch the video. Then we come back for some great discussion. Let's watch it.
First question is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? So I think that is for yes. Is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? Okay, let's go to the second question. Do you think, do you think the nation is on the right track with the policies of the Tinubu government? Okay. All right. My third question, and this is very important, and we need to also think carefully. Is your hope renewed? No, don't finish the question. Hold on. I've not finished the questions. Hold on is a longer sentence. Is your hope renewed now, or do you think this government is in touch with the present realities of the average nation? For those who agree, say yes. Those who disagree, say no. If you agree that the Minister of Interior did a fantastic job in defending a very difficult situation of the country, put your hands together for him. If you really think the Minister of Interior did a very good job, please stand up and clap for him. So it's a unanimous decision. All right, on that note, the yes have it. There you have my seat.
There you have it. What happened in that particular video is an outright rejection of the Tinubu government. Any serious government will take the concern and rejection of the lawyers seriously. If Nigeria were to be a serious country that true democracy is being practiced and the vote of the people will determine who truly governs, there's no room for violence or electoral malpractice, definitely the government will be having a sleepless night. But since that particular issue happened, the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has moved on unconcerned. In fact, rather than for government to reduce the hardship of the people, the same minister that was present in that particular video, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, the ministry that he is supervising, which is the Ministry of Interior, is supervising the Nigerian immigration. That particular Nigerian immigration has increase the passport, the amount needed to renew your passport. So if you want to get a 10-year passport now, you need to have no less than 200,000 naira, and that seems to be like the official rate. So if you want to go through the back door, or you want to fast track it as it is popular in Nigeria, that means that you may be spending about 250,000. So you can see that rather than for the government to take the concern of these lawyers seriously, they have decided to move on with their anti-masses policy. But I can tell you as a political scientist that you cannot wish away the outright rejection of those lawyers. Why? Because the lawyer's judgment is a reflection of personal and collective experience. What do I mean by that? I would explain it to you. The lawyer's judgment is a reflection of personal and collective experience in the sense that they are giving a judgment, they are passing a judgment as regards how the Tinubu government have affected their life personally. So their judgment, their outright rejection is based on the inflation, is based on the level of insecurity, is based on the level of hardship in the land. So their answer is based on their personal life experiences as a Nigerian under the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is also a reflection of their collective experience in the sense that they, apart from their personal experience, they have wives, they have husbands, they have spouses, they have children, they have father, they have mothers, and they would have been receiving complaints just like you too will be receiving complaints from your loved ones. They would have been sharing ideas with their loved ones just like you. When you sit down with your loved ones, you guys will also share ideas, you guys will also debate issues as regards the government. So definitely the lawyer's position is based on personal and collective experience, and that is why any serious government will take it seriously, in the sense that at an NBA conference is usually a gathering of about 20,000 lawyers. Now, what does that mean? Let us do a simple arithmetic. 20,000 lawyers. Let's say the lawyers are from a family of, let's say, average of 3. Mother, father, and 3 children. That is 5. Now, mother, father, and 3 children. That is 5 times 20 of them. That is 100,000. Now, 100,000 lawyers and their families are complaining from the judgment of that particular video. So if it is a government that is putting on its thinking cap, they will look at the reaction of the lawyers and the unspoken words in that particular video and take it as what we call a referendum. What happened in that particular video is like a referendum on the Tinubu government, because it is difficult for you to see an assemblage of people and for you to get their vote in a unanimous manner. So what happened in that particular video should be of concern. In fact, I can tell you that it is not only the lawyers. If you assemble the doctors in Nigeria and you put that kind of question, you will most likely get the same answer. If you gather retired police officers that protested not long ago, if you gather them in a room and you put forward the question, you are most likely to get the same answers. If you gather lecturers, professors, doctors in a room, Nigerian academics, if you gather them in a room and you put forward the question, definitely you will most likely get the same answer. So that particular video is a referendum, an accessible referendum for the Tinubu government. The only people that will most likely speak right about the government is the politicians that are benefiting from the policies of the government. But when it comes to the ordinary Nigerians or Nigerians that are working hard and working legitimately to survive, you will most likely get that particular answer. Why will you get it? Let us look at some of the things that Tinubu has done. First, before Tinubu came to power, people are buying petrol at less than 200 naira. Now it is about 1,000 naira. People were purchasing the dollar at about 500 naira. Now it is around 1,600 naira. So you can see the level of inflation have doubled, the level of unemployment have doubled, if not tripled. So you can see that the judgment of the lawyers in that particular video as regards the performance of the Tinubu government, if you look at it or if you look around you, you will see that it is a true reflection of what they and their families are passing through. In other climes, Tinubu will be afraid of losing the election. He will be very worried that, oh, they are passing such a judgment on me, and at the end of the day, my election will be determined by some of these people, because it is lawyers that become judges, and some of these lawyers have access to the judges, whether at the High Court, the Appeal Court, or at the Supreme Court. So in a sane country, Tinubu will be worried, but then Tinubu government seems less to be worried. In fact, rather than for them to address the concerns of Nigerians, the Tinubu government will go on a boasting spree, just like the president, as he did in Brazil, that, well, his reforms are working, there's no longer corruption in Nigeria, everything is going on fine. You would think that is either the president with profound respect is being delusional, or some people are deceiving him, because the reality doesn't speak to his own assertion. So you may want to wonder that what is covering What is the veil that is covering the president from seeing the reality? Because rather than for the president to feel the pulse of the people, definitely the government is always boasting. And apart from boasting, if they are not boasting, then they are deploying propaganda. They would be deploying different form of propaganda just to sway the mood of the people. But the truth is that propaganda can work, but it cannot last long, because propaganda does not put food on the table. So the reality is that the government is not meeting the aspiration of the people. And talking about the reform of the president, well, the thing is that the reform of the president may be yielding some positive result, but then it is yet to trickle down. What do I mean by trickle down? If a government is taking a policy, definitely that policy must touch the people before we can say that, oh, this policy is effective. But in this instance, even if there's any progress, it is still within the governors, the ministers, the ruling elite. It is yet to trickle down. If it had trickled down, you won't get that kind of resounding rejection from the lawyers during the NBA conference. And the thing is that the policies of the Tinubu government must trickle down. The positive effect of it must trickle down to the people before the election. If not, definitely there would be problem for the Tinubu government, especially if the government want to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. Now, let us look at the question that Seun Okinbaloye asked in that particular video. Seun Okinbaloye posed the question, is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? I think I've addressed that. It is no, based on the level of inflation, the cost of goods and services, the level of unemployment. If just pick any indices, you will see that if we are to be sincere with ourselves and we are to speak the truth, not minding who sucks is God, Nigeria is not better today than when Tinubu met it. In fact, Nigerians will pray for Tinubu to return them back to the status quo in May 29, 2023 than for them to remain as they are now. So that answers the first question. The second question posed by Seun Okinbaloye is, do you think the nation is on the right path with the policies of the Tinubu government? Well, the lawyer said no. But I think that the nation may be on the right path if the government is sincere. But I have asserted that even if the policies of the president is good, when the reward of those policies will come, it will still not get to the people. You know why? Because Nigerian politicians are greedy. Oh, I feel your pain. Oh, manage. Fine. Nigerians will manage. But when the reform begin to yield good result, the result of the reform, the positive result, will be embezzled by politicians. They will use it to buy house in Dubai, buy house in UK, buy house in US. So the effect of those reforms will not trickle down to the Nigerian people. So that is why I think that I have a bit of different opinion. Do you think the nation is on the right path with the policies of the Tinubu government? Apparently, yes. But then, where I have a reservation is that when the reward of those reforms will come, Nigerians will not benefit, because Nigerians have never benefited from the reforms or the policies or the giant strides of the government. It is only the people in government, the ruling elite, their friend and family that usually benefit. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Joshua Plug. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.